Okay, this is my house. So we're gonna go in the front door. Every space is multi-purpose here, just so you know. So I didn't want to disturb my oldest, the oldest who lives at home anyway. That was the basement, and it's got a bathroom, so it's pretty good teenager, young adult room. Here is my kitchen. I had to show this to you all today because we actually got everything clean yesterday. Oh, the days are running together. Yeah, it was yesterday. And things don't stay clean at my house for very long. So anyways, one of my favorite parts about my kitchen is the tea and toast station. I'm a real big fan. Okay, so something that's interesting about Portuguese houses is this. You'll get some of the best sleep in your life from having blinds like this. Some of them are motorized. This house is like not fancy. It was really what it is a beach house that somebody is renting out to us full time, which means it really lacks in things that real houses should have, like recently we had the craziest storms. So there's some construction going on. You can see that's my neighbor's back area. We don't have a yard, we just have a tiled back area. So this is my very messy laundry room. This was the fridge that came with the place, which isn't even as tall as me. Yeah, the other one's taller than me. Anyway, this is our laundry room. It really gets messy because it's outdoors. Anyway, we bought the laundry stuff about 3.5 years ago. And because we live at the beach, like just everything rusts. Rust. So you can see I have really old like doors here. You have to like twist this to unlock and lock. Anyway, it's a pretty cute kitchen though. My table's beat up because, you know, I have a bunch of kids. We would call this the second floor in America. This is called the first floor in Portugal. This is an entrance, but because there's so many little spaces and we have so many people, we have made it a practical space, and then we only use the downstairs entrance. Okay, so not fancy. This shower was leaking immediately when we moved here, and it's also a very tiny bathroom, as you can see, very small. And so we don't use it. I actually want to get like shelving, and because we don't have enough storage in this place. So, yep. So this is my pretty living room. I love my living room. There's my dog, one of my dogs. Anyway, so here's my living room. A lot of the places in this house have like a little porch, but the problem is because we live in this beach town, there's not a lot of places for birds to live. A lot of times birds will live like up there, and then the porches and stuff will be covered in bird poop, which is gross. Fireplace that probably needs to be cleaned. Our landlord is nice, but also he's not very responsive. You can see real life Portugal house. This. No matter what we do, there's just parts of this house that are leaky. And this happens every winter. The rooms that have a dehumidifier running in them, it happens a little bit less, but not a lot less. You see, I've made my art area, like I don't have an office or a whole room to myself. So this back here is pretty messy, but I really like how I've separated it. We're just doing our best. Yeah, there's stuff like this that goes on, and you know, my landlord checks in with us. He's hard to get a hold of. He checks in with us maybe every 4 to 5 months. If I really had to get in touch with him, I would just call and call and call and call and call, and hope that eventually he got the picture. Whenever he calls next and says, "Is everything okay?" I'm probably going to be like, "Hey, we have a lot of spots like this right now." Basically, where there's moisture in the walls, they're really hard. So it's just the outer layer, but moisture gets in there. So this is the main bathroom that we use. I guess bidets are required here in most builds. And so in a tiny bathroom like this, it was really a bummer that the bidet is there. Also, we just replaced this with our own money because the thing that was there after 3 years was just gross. I think our landlord would have replaced it if we could get in touch with him. The other one came literally all the way over to here, which means that when we were sitting on the toilet, like we couldn't put our knees straight. So in the cold months, the reason I'm wearing these in my house is because the houses here are built for summer, because it gets really hot in the summer, generally in Portugal. Where I live, it's very mild, but all the houses are still built the same way. And because of that, the inside of the house is very cold during the winter. Because heating in this house, by the beach anyway, and this is very common through Portugal, is right back there. It's just a plug-in heater. That's how we get heat. This room, I mean, these rooms they belong to teenage boys, okay? So this one, there's a cute little porch, but again, like a lot of times the birds, there's my other dog. The birds really like make these gross, so we don't spend as much time as I would like on them. Plus, I mean, it's just a view of houses. If you look over there, though, in between, there's some ocean. You look over there, there's some ocean. I should show you. So this is very normal. So this teenager doesn't really need all of these spaces. So we use it a lot more as storage. These are not his clothes, but that's those. Here's this. So these are like, you know, built-in things. There's not a lot of drawers. And so, you know, we have bought drawers and things like that. Other bedroom, another teenage boy. So, you know, this one, it was actually really, okay, does anybody else have kids who, I promise that was like over months and months and months. So not much decor in here because actually this used to be his sister's room and she moved out. So this is my room. Trying to fit a king-size bed in this room is, as you can see, extremely challenging. I've moved it around a lot of times. In my room, we've got just the smaller storage. I just rearranged again. I stuffed this in the corner. I wanted to see if we could get some more walking room. I really wanted a chair in our room, and it looks ridiculous because there's not enough space. And I really didn't want to not use this space just because the doors were there. Probably a smaller chair would be good, but that's what we had available. We're going up. More damage from the water in the walls. It's pretty bad up here. So we have, hi. I call this the closet above the stairs. It's a very nice, cute little room for a cute little person. The younger ones had gotten some pretty small spaces. I feel good about her being in the bigger space upstairs because she is a really small person. So anyway, here's our rooftop. The rooftop is really the best. I live on a peninsula, so you can see the ocean all the way around. This is where I dry my laundry. I guess I can pull it off now. It dries really well up here, really fast, because it's such a sunny place. Oh, but I should show you. Again, we've really struggled with how to make these spaces amazing spaces. Like, I'm using it for laundry. This is my house. It's a townhouse, and it's been a really nice place to live. Okay, this is gonna look weird, but I thought I'd just sit down and finish telling you what I was gonna tell you. For us, trading a larger house and owning a house and then moving into this house has completely been worth it. I mean, I live at the ocean. I can walk 5 minutes to the beach. I can walk less than 5 minutes to go watch the sunset over cliffs because I live on a peninsula. So it's been such a gift. Oh, I hope my head wasn't cut off. Anyway, this is just going to be a little bit of a casual video. I dry my clothes on my roof. Some people get dryers here. We just didn't. I guess we could fit it out there in that room where the washer is, but I guess the problem with that is that then the dryer would also rust from just being in a non-climate controlled place. Honestly, as you can see, none of this house is climate controlled. We don't have HVAC. So that is probably good here because of how easily things mold. I would hate to have HVAC and then have like mold in the system. I don't know. I'm sure people figure out a way and do it. Obviously, like I live like literally on the ocean, and so some people who live inland have different kinds of climates, but a lot of the houses do have the issues that I was showing you, which is sort of the topical mildew and mold, things crumbling, because, I mean, the fact that it's not climate controlled means we do use dehumidifiers in certain rooms when everything's closed up, but we just like open the windows and things move through. And so it's a lot different than places that we've lived in the States, but my day-to-day life is so much more peaceful. For us, getting to live at the ocean is a really big gift. I can't imagine having a space this big with even a little outdoor space. I can't imagine trying to afford that in America by the beach. Everything's so built up everywhere by the beach that it's hard to imagine us trying to afford that with a family of 7. Because as you could see, like this house had that upstairs like attic room. That's really not exactly a room, but it has some functional multi-purpose spaces that can be used creatively for a big family. So I hope that this was interesting to you. Let me know what questions came up for you as you watched it. I'm sure that you were curious about different things. I'm really glad you got to see it after it had been cleaned, but it's still very lived in because we're a big family. And also, I'm glad you got to see it while the walls are crumbling and while there are places with mildew that I need to wipe off. It's very topical, well, except the crumbling. The mildew is very topical here, but it is concerning to a lot of people how much this is an issue in the winter in Portuguese houses. And it's because, there's usually a good month of rain in the winter. And even if you run your dehumidifier, like you'd have to have one for every single room in your house to avoid it completely. And you'd have to stay on top of that thing, like emptying it like multiple times a day. And that's pretty much impossible. Dehumidifiers are pretty expensive. I think ours were over €100 a piece maybe more like 130 or 150 for our big one. And we just keep that one in the basement room, the big basement room I showed you. But because the house doesn't have insulation hardly at all, I mean, I can hear a lot from my neighbors. Because of that, even if you run the dehumidifier, there's just always moisture coming in. I would almost want to build a whole new construction here if I was owning something. I know that there are places that are not like this, but I think most of the places just that you're going to buy that are going to be on the market are going to have these issues here. So that's real life. As you can see in my other videos, my nervous system likes it much, much better here. And so I'm totally willing to just deal with the headaches in the house. I know a lot of friends in America who have issues with mold in their house as well, just where things haven't been built quite right. Like quite a few people are starting to have problems with mold, and sometimes that is in the HVAC, and that's terrifying to me because it's, you know, pumping the air that you breathe. So at least here we're dealing with stuff that's very topical because it's these concrete walls, and we open the windows to get fresh airflow and stuff like that. And you just clean the mold off, and it's not nearly as bad in the summer months as it is in the winter months. So reality, reality, reality. If you're thinking of living here, I'm sure that if you have lots and lots of money to spend on a home, or if you are gonna build your own home and get connected with people who are doing more modern construction with maybe some more passive elements to the house, or techniques with a little bit more insulation, things like that, that would be really helpful. We aren't really in the position to be buying a house right now because you definitely have to put down at least 20%. And for instance, in this neighborhood, houses I think are going for 450, like townhouses are going for like 450 or 500,000 euros, which since the US dollar has gone down is quite an expense.